Hey, what's going on, everyone? Mike Lowe, SimSportsGaming.com, episode 21 of the MLB The Show. Tigers franchise here, playing every pitch of every game, utilizing the sliders that are up in the vault here. Version 1.8 is what we'll be looking at today, and the details of those sliders are available at OperationSports.com in their MLB The Show slider forum. So check those out. Grab them from the vault if you'd like. Give them a vote if you'd like. And yeah, I can just really give you a quick rundown. There was a very, very short 1.7 that I did take down from the vault because the only difference we had the CPU starter, the user starter stamina was at 7, and just talking to a few more of you, I thought that was going to be too high. So put that down to 6, but the rest is the same as 1.7. So 1.7 is the most short-lived version of the slider set. But 1.8 currently what I'm using, and the big difference is it's going to be steal success for base runners being increased, and also errors across the board being increased. So I think that was pretty much it. Again, everything else playing really well. I actually posted yesterday my last 10 games, the batting average ball in play against for my pitching, right? So again, like the user, or I should say the AI hitting. And they had I think it was a 303 batting average ball in play going all the way back to like this game, I think, or this game, one of these two. We were 3-10 in that span, so actually it was this game. But again, 16 home runs we gave up over those 10 games. Yeah, and again, all those details are up on Operation Sports, so you can check those out. But today we're actually going for the sweep. The last game I streamed, we got creamed. It was a 9-0 loss. We had back-to-back shutouts. I mean, just horrendous. Finally came back, and this was a game here. Tigers pretty much had control the whole game. It was tied in the 6th, and then Tigers got some late runs to make it 4-1. Just kind of looking there, we did strike out 10 Mariners. J.B. Crawford had 2 doubles for them. Not much else going on for the Mariners that day. Jordy Mercer, he had 3 hits this game, as did Cameron Maven. Jonathan Scope, 2 hits with 3 RBIs. And Mercer had a double, a couple home runs there by Scope and Maven. And you can see the pitching there for the Mariners, nothing to write home about. We put the ball in play a lot that game. Jordan Zimmerman pitched pretty well, 6 strong innings, just 1 run allowed. And then the bullpen kind of getting back to form here. Doing a really, really nice job. Vizcaino strikes out the side. Does put 2 guys on, but gets out of it with his 17th save, which pretty sure leads the majors at this point. So again, that was that game. Nice start by Jordan Zimmerman. This game I actually took the advice of some people chatting on this YouTube channel, and actually did a spot start for the first time because, and this isn't something I want to do across the board, but with Daniel Norris, who has just pitched really well for us this year, but he's only got like a 66 stamina. I think on his day in the rotation, it's something I may consider doing. I think my big holdup is that the AI teams, number one, don't do this themselves, so I feel like it's kind of a dirty advantage. And 2, they certainly don't do much to counter it. I mean, if you start a lefty reliever and only pitch him for 1 at bat, I mean, they just assume that's your starter, and they're going to put in their versus lefty lineup. Whereas I think some teams, if they know an opener is going, they kind of start more of like a generic lineup. But again, it's not the end of the world or anything, so it's just something I was dabbling with. So let's actually start with the pitching, and we can kind of look how that worked out. So I actually started Nick Ramirez, and he was a little shaky to begin, but he did get through the first inning and actually struck out 2 guys. We then, in the 2nd inning, went to Joe Jimenez, who again pitched really well. He's starting definitely trending in the right direction. And then we brought in Daniel Norris, and it was interesting because I feel like he was even more dominant than he's been coming in as a reliever. And it's kind of a theory I've been having in this game. I don't have any really data to prove it, but it does seem like your relief pitchers tend to pitch better than your starters. And so I just wonder if him coming in as a hot pitcher out of the bullpen, I mean, he just shut people down, and he had plenty of energy still. But we just kind of took him out just with the matchup coming up, bringing in a righty, and Buck Farmer, who's been just a tremendous setup guy for us. And then Cedeno, again, was a little shaky. I think he walked the very first guy he faced, but then he got out of that inning. And then Vizcaino came in and got his 18th save. So again, he's just been, I mean, just crazy. We're not even halfway through the year, and he's at 18 saves already. So he's just been just a tremendous find for us, and has really kept us kind of floating around. Even just having the discussion of being a 500 team, which we're certainly not right now, 5 games below. But it's been really nice to see. So if we look at kind of the lineup here, or I should say the hitting, Mariners struck out 8 times, just the one walk. Only had a double. Again, they just haven't. They're a bad team. I mean, the Mariners are the worst team I think in the American League. You can see back-to-back games with an error here for either team, so that's good. That's where we want to be. Ideally, again, doesn't always have to be. A bit of an odd lineup today. Castro actually led off. We put Christian Stewart hoping to get a little more power in that 2 spot with Mercer taking a day off to get some rest. And Jonathan Scopes continues to be hot. He's now up to 250 after being under 200 for quite some time. A couple hits for C.J. Cron as well, so it's nice to see kind of the power bats getting involved. Cameron Maben continues to be a really nice player. Brock Deathridge gets a hit. And I just haven't found anything to stick at catcher, but 3 doubles, 2 home runs for the Tigers. And their pitching, you can see there. Taijuan Walker actually pitched pretty well, 6 strikeouts, went 6 innings. But yeah, ended up being a 3-0 win for the Tigers. So, again, I mentioned, let's take a look and see where Vizcaino lands here. So he is the top vote getter by quite a bit for closing pitchers in the American League and also even in the National League. So he is really well on his way here to being the American League closer, which bodes well as a potential trade candidate for sure, because I have no problem trading closers, in my opinion. It's just kind of something that you can manufacture and sell off and then really replace rather easily. So we're happy to see Vizcaino doing so well. And I mean, he has no, knock on wood, but 0 blown saves, 39 strikeouts, and 27 innings pitched. And he's just been, just dominant. He's been awesome. And again, his stats aren't too out of line. I mean, you look here, Taylor Rogers, you can see he's got a 1.29 ERA. I'm looking for, I'm trying to see if there's any, so he's a 79 overall. I'm just curious to see, where the next player, so, Michael Givens is probably the closest. So if we kind of just look here, and yeah, Vizcaino is, definitely playing above his rating. And it could be something to do with his morale. His expectation is actually a closer, which is interesting because I edited his position to be closer, so that must have triggered something there. But he does have a 3% or a 3-point overall bump there due to exceeding even his individual performance has really been the big thing. So it's nice to see that pitchers can get momentum and then kind of build on that as the season goes, because it's affecting his overall, it's affecting his attributes, and he's just been outstanding for us so far. For a while there, we also had the top reliever, but he has kind of fallen down, as you can see here. Xavier Cedeno is no longer looking like the top relief pitcher he was to start the season, but that's okay. So again, 2 guys we picked up in free agency. Been very, very cool to see. But the Tigers currently sit 5.5 games back. Still being outscored by quite a decent margin there. 3-7 in our last 10 games. If we look at the wild card, 6.5 back. So again, is this going to be a playoff team? No. Very, very unlikely. But it's nice to see that we've been able to make a couple changes that have kept them a little more competitive. And you never know. Again, 2 games in a row here. We're heading to Arizona after this. Pretty long road trip actually coming up after this home game. But you just try to win 2 out of 3 each series, right? If you can keep doing that, you're going to be a playoff team. So that's essentially close to 100 wins a season if you can win 2 out of 3. So anyway, yeah, today is going to be Kendall Graveman versus Matthew Boyd. So if we go take a look at Kendall Graveman, just to kind of get an idea of what we're up against here. He is not a very intimidating pitcher, to say the least. He primarily throws a sinker, so we'll be looking lower in the zone, especially with the change. All of his pitches are gonna dip down. He's got more of a movement kind of pitcher, but also doesn't have great break. just 72, but a guy we can probably put the ball in play a lot, so we may try to move some base runners around a little, maybe stay out of some double plays, but then again, he's got such a low hit per 9 that we may just want to be looking to make solid contact. So very, very hittable pitcher. Probably just be our standard lineup today. Nothing too crazy. Let's look at his what he's been doing statistically, because again, that is important. He's got 12 starts, 61 innings pitched. Has not been very good, but let's look at some of the advanced metrics here. Yeah, pretty bad component ERA and fielding independent ERA, susceptible to the home run for sure, and he's just striking no one out. That's the lowest I think I've seen all year by an AI player, or any player really, but 2.79. He's actually doing okay with walks, but yikes, that's a terrible ratio when you're not striking anyone out. So he's a very, very beatable pitcher. The matchup, again, is in favor. Matthew Boyd's been playing much, much better for us as of late after starting pretty cold to start the season. We look at his advanced metrics again. Trending down, he's been able to keep the ball in the ballpark, which is nice because that's been a problem in his career. You can look at his career numbers here. That's been a much better improvement, and not every pitcher on the Tigers is trending that direction. And again, this is starting to improve too. His Ks are really some of the lowest he's had in his career, but that's starting to pop back up more. And this actually might be a day game. It's a getaway day, so it's very likely it's a day game. It is. So this is a really good matchup for the Tigers. So I hope that we don't blow it. Let's see here. So I need to. Oops. Let's simulate the games of the day here. And again, we do this just to limit the number of complete games. You can go in and just check that you're not getting an inflation of complete games. If you leave things at default, or if you don't even watch these with my flatter site, you're going to get just way too many complete games over the course of an entire season. So I'm actually a bit under, so look to be in good shape. So Tigers will look to continue a little mini winning streak here. Matthew Boyd, again, just about everyone looks to be available. I do want to give CJ Crone the day off here. And come to think of it, so we're going to be going to an NL Park next, right? I want to keep Miguel Cabrera in the lineup. So yeah, CJ Crone will still play because I'll probably take out Nico Goodrum, or it'll be like Christian Stewart. So I will sit CJ Crone today just to give him some rest. The only problem is I don't really have much for to really bring in. So maybe we won't. I think I'll sit CJ Crone in the National League Series for at least a game. Because you could put in Romine, but the thing, I don't like having a catcher as your DH if it's your only other catcher, because if your catcher gets hurt or something, that's obviously a big problem there. So, alright, just checking in with the chat really quick, see if I missed anything. What's up, Patrick? Yeah, right, it is good to see us back to winning. Awaken, what's going on, bud? Top Cat, a lot of familiar faces today. What does the injury list look like? Yeah, we'll put Miggy at first today. That's Problem is when a player is the DH, they don't lose any more energy, but they don't recover it, so it's also kind of like pointless. But I typically do play Miguel Cabrera at first on Thursdays and Sundays if we have a game. We'll always have a game Sunday, so we always play there Sunday. And if we do have a game Thursday, like we do now, I usually do that. Those are usually your day games. What do injuries look like? This is with 6 the entire season. So we lost Travis Demerit kind of recently in the last few weeks here. when he was on the roster as kind of a... He played sometimes. Jacoby Jones got hurt simulating the preseason, or the spring training, I should say. Griner was a minor league injury, so those are the only injuries we have on our team. But there are injuries happening across the league, of course, as you can see here. So, yep. So yeah, Cabrera can definitely play first today. He'll be playing the field the next 4 games coming up, so actually it makes me think, well, first base, he won't get too tired. I'll say it makes me think maybe I should even leave him at DH today just to keep his energy high. But we are just in need of an off day for sure. We just some guys were tired, and I would give Crone the off day, but here pitching against a lefty, or hitting against a lefty, I'd like to keep him in. So yeah, I think we're good to go. Just trying to decide if I want to bring... Draft is less than a week away. I think it's next Thursday or Wednesday. I'll try to stream that draft too. I think it's kind of come down to that not Charles Darwin, but I forget his name now. Something sounds like Charles Darwin. It's like, I can't remember his name now, but it's something that starts with a C in Darwin. I always call him Charles Darwin, but or it's going to be a starting pitcher. I mean, that's what it's looking like here. And it's Charles Dawson, I think is his name, but I always want to call him Charles Darwin. Yeah, there you go, Charles Dawson. Thank you, Patrick. But I like that he's a first baseman, but can also play left field, can also catch. I think that'd be a good player to add in the mix. It just looks by far to be the most prolific hitter in the draft. But there's some good starting pitchers too. Definitely some good starting pitchers.
For Seattle, the center fielder, Malik.
All right, so let's a couple quick adjustments here, as always. We're set to go. Cameron may have been over in left today.
Batting second, the second baseman.
Against lefty, we got Nico in center. No, 1 pitch, 1 out. Definitely take that. Very nice pitch. He's got that day player quirk, so this is again a really, really nice matchup for him today. Hopefully. Damn, Naven's moving. Ooh, nice range. Thought for sure that was going to drop.
Batting third, the right fielder, Mitch Haniger.
Ground out to the shortstop. Yep. Alright. Take a 9-pitch inning. Been doing a lot of scouting, even thinking about that second round pick we have, which I imagine will be the first pick in the second round. That's still going to be a really good pick. And, yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're scouting at this point. So there's Aaron Fletcher. He's been pretty bad. How does he have 35 strikeouts in 31 innings, but he has a K per 9 of like 2 something? It doesn't seem right. Is that the right starter? Did they? Because he already has half energy, or did they start like a? No, we looked at Kendall Graveman. This is a different starter. So they started Aaron Fletcher for some reason. Huh. Yeah, because he doesn't throw the sinker or anything like that. That's weird. Change up in there. So, whole different ball game here. Maybe they took a page out of our book and are doing an opener today. But again, he's not very good, but he will strike guys out. A few fastballs. He's already tired after one pitch. Or at least he went from green to yellow after one pitch. Ooh, 3-pitch strikeout though.
Batting second, the center fielder, Nico. Good draw. No. 1-1. That's ball 2. Ball, 1 strike. Batting third, the first baseman, Miguel Cabrera.
Good contact. But, ran it down. Offense been a struggle for the Tigers this year. No surprise.
Oh. 1 ball, no strike.
Trying to wait out a breaking pitch here, but if I get a fastball, I gotta respect that too. It's right down the middle. Ooh. Tried to barehand it. Where are they gonna rule that? Base hit.
Batting fifth, the designated hitter, DJ Lowe. Oh. 1-0.
Yeah, I think their starter may have been injured, is my guess. They get that little pop-up like we do sometimes. Oh, hit that hard. Damn. Thought that was going to curve. Well, this doesn't curve as realistically as it should this year. Do I have any trades coming up? Yeah. But I don't really know exactly. I mean, I kind of know who, but I don't really know what I'm doing or even when I want to do it, so to speak.
The third
A little too early still.
Kyle Seager.
Be another month, probably. All-Star game. Sometime in July, of course, before the trade deadline. Beats the shift. But can you get the second? Again, the ball played perfectly. It's the only thing that keeps doubles realistic are those inaccurate throws, which is realistic. Not every throw, especially from a corner, it's going to be very accurate.
Murphy. Oh, two. Oh, 1 and 2. That's a ball.
So I mentioned Nico in center field. Victor in his more natural right field. Much better arm than Cameron Maben. A pretty good range in the outfield. Something you can't underappreciate in Comerica Park.
Oh, 1 ball, no strike. One ball, 1 strike. One ball, 2 strikes.
I'm gonna go curveball here.
Nope, that's off the plate. Full.
We'll take that trade. Runner moves up the base. Traded for an out.
Batting seven.
Now we get our pick of who we want to pitch to here.
Kyle Lowe.
But let's go after him here. Good job, Matthew Boy. Still under 30 pitches through 2 innings, so even after a bit of a rougher second inning, doing well so far. A lot of people here to see two bad teams play on a Thursday afternoon.
Leading up for the Tigers, the left fielder, Cameron Maben.
No, Fletcher's still in there. Second inning will work. Second to get down. Nope. Good center fielder out there.
Batting seventh, the right fielder, Victor Reyes. No ball, one strike. Oh.
Yeah. Chased that pitch, but it's probably going to be ruled a hit. So I'm curious with the little bump up in errors.
The catcher.
Because I feel like even though that's probably not going to be ruled an error, the error slider is impacting those. So it's going to impact other things like batting average, ball in play. Yeah, because that was ruled a hit. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it. Good pitch. Oof. Terrible at that. That's frustrating.
Batting ninth, the third baseman, Jamer Candelario.
Big surprise. Thrown out stealing. Terrible jump. I don't know if I got the new patch from today. It should have just auto-installed, but I didn't get a notification, so.
The designated hitter, Dylan Moore.
But I tell you, with steals, just don't. Like, I don't want Victor Reyes to be able to steal. And he's only got a 34 steal rating, but the way they set up the speed versus steal stuff, it just makes no sense. And I know Ryan's talked about that on this channel before. It's just weird. Like, the way they have the game set up is like, it's feast or famine. You either can steal all the time with a guy, or you can never steal with a guy. And that's not how it is. Like, steals are very situationally based. It's not just based on, like, blazing speed. Teams are too smart for that. So, again, I hate to say it, it's a part of baseball that this game just doesn't implement properly. And there's a handful of them. Bullpen AI. Again, outfield fielding against the walls, things like that. Just being too clean. But I think it's up to them. I mean, do they want to be a baseball simulator? I don't know. I don't think they want to be like a baseball arcade game. I don't think it's to that extreme, but it's hit pretty well. Goodbye. But do they want to be a baseball simulator? I don't know. I think they do. I think they're also having to satisfy a much, much larger fan base than just people like us who are maybe more in a franchise mode. We've talked about that 1,000 times, but that was our 9-hitter. That's a bummer. Puts Seattle at 1-0. But Matthew Voigt will shake it off. Oh, 3-pitch strikeout for Boyd. 2 outs now.
The batter, number 9, second baseman, D. Gordon. Ball 1-1.
Ooh, gets down. Oh, he's going for 2. All right. So as we were saying, does the game want to be a simulator? I don't know. That was weird, and we've seen a few of those.
Leading up for the Tigers, the third baseman, Jamer.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That is something I'm actually testing today. This is not in 1.8, but where is it at? So pickoffs, I put it down to 5 for this game, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to take that steal, because I wanted to see if that was impacting the bad jumps. I think it's safe to say it's not. I'll leave it on this game in case I get another opportunity, but I mean, he got a terrible jump. Again, oops. If we go look at that replay. So this is the Tigers were batting last inning. Or I guess second inning, right? And it was Candelario was batting.
Go.
So we can look at his jump here. I mean, just that's a like again, you're taught to go, you know, essentially first movement. And I think isn't there a button that tells you to go on first movement? Because I just do the straight steal. Like I hold the left analog stick, I push it towards first, and then I hit L2, which says, "Hey, man on first, steal." And this again, first movement, right? We're talking about his foot. But I think there is a command for first movement. I'm sure you guys would know. Like he should be moving right now. And certainly at this point, when his foot starts to go, see, as soon as that foot starts to go behind, he's committed to going home. So like even an average, I mean right there, his foot, if it comes straight up, like at this point, he could still pick off. He could still pick off. He could still pick off. And this is baseball rules. This is down to high school, MLB, I don't care what league it is. As soon as that foot and his legs start to come in, see how it's now curving in? He's committed. He has to throw home. If you were to throw over to first base, that's a balk, which this game doesn't have, which I think would actually be really cool if they were to actually put in this game like full-on dynamic, not just base running with like the leadoffs, but also from the pitchers. Like, so like again, FIFA, like I was just playing a little FIFA, getting my butt handed to me again. But like you can pretty much call for like, you can pass, you can shoot, you can lob, pretty much out of like any animation. And it might not be pretty, but you can essentially do it. And that's what I'd like to see here. Is like if I want to pick off right now, let me do it. But if I do it here, it's a balk. Because see his leg, now it absolutely is committed, right? It's behind him. It's no longer in a straight plane. But look at the base runner. He's just sitting there. And that's why I thought, well, maybe that pickoff slider is impacting things this year. I mean, that's just a terrible jump. And like at this point as a base runner, you would abort your own steal. You would be like, oh, I got a terrible jump. And you'd stop right here and you'd freeze. So it'd just essentially be like a leadoff where you kind of shift and take your extra steps, right? You would stop right here. You'd look, hit the action. And then, you know, at worst, maybe you have to dive back to first if there's a throwback on a pitch that gets to the catcher or something like this. But, you know, again, it's just, we don't get these little things. And even what's interesting is like that would work really well in Diamond Dynasty, which we know is a big focus for them. And it would be, I mean, think how cool that dynamic would be if you're playing somebody who's just super aggressive in the base pass. And it gives a huge advantage to someone who knows baseball. And I just think that would be a great, great thing for them to add into the game. It's kind of just a very organic cat and mouse between base runner and pitcher. It'd be great. So they still got this pitcher in the game here, but understandably, I mean, they need to no one has the weekend off in baseball, so they have games. So I mean, I get it. They don't want to destroy their bullpen here. And again, we have manager Hook at default, so I mean, this is the game making the decision to leave him in, not my sliders. He's still striking guys out. It's a terrible swing.
Up next for the Tigers, the shortstop, Jordy Mercer.
If you queued up, hit circle plus L2. So hang on a second here. So circle. So like, are you saying I would push towards first base and then not just L2, but L2 plus circle? I think is what you're saying. He's throwing tons of hittable pitches. I'm just trying to be a little more patient. I mean, he's going to end up throwing some mistake pitches here for sure. He's completely out of energy at this point. Tried to check my swing there. There we go. It's not very hard to hit a bad pitcher with no energy. I was just trying to dump a little single. Just smoked it. Jordy Mercer with his 5th home run. What in the world? No, tries it up. 5th home run of the year. There they go, taking him out.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Mariners, number 26, Sam.
So Reddy's actually hitting him a little bit better. Small sample size, 28 innings. I want to see, so I'm pretty sure I'm just on default. So, hitting, bunting, batting. Where's base running? Individual. Oh, I see. So hold and release to steal early. But that's not first movement necessarily. That's like a manual. So hold and release to steal early. But I'm guessing I would still need to target him, and then instead of just letting go of L2, I would just hold it. So in other words, I'm not going to obviously try to hit. Okay. Well, that would definitely help. But I still don't see first movement, unless that's the same thing as first movement. Yeah, I'll give that a shot.
The center fielder, number 28, Nico.
So who? Pretty standard repertoire here. I'll try to hit it to left field if I can.
Nope, that's the ball.
Now batting, first baseman, Miguel Cabrera.
So let's see. C-Steal, individual runner. Okay, so I think it's the same thing, like we're talking about. Just I would hold down L2 and still let it go, and then I would make the decision. Yeah, I'll try it next. With someone who has any hope of stealing a base. Go Miguel. Good to see him hitting real home runs. A few home runs against righties finally. Again, just a high velocity fastball right down the middle. Not hard to hit.
Now batting, the second baseman, Jonathan.
Another one.
Go.
But just got into that one. But we'll take a 2-1 lead, no problem. Top Cat, you're good, man. I'm doing the same thing. I'm taking a vacation day. Our trip overseas in March, I guess luckily, our trip got, and some of you probably know this story, but we got Israel. We were supposed to go to Israel, where were we going? Israel, Jordan, Turkey, and Greece. And we were just panicking because we were supposed to leave like March 11th or March 12th, and it was just like, man, what do we do? And I think my biggest fear is like having to make the decision, because I think I would have gone if they let me. But the fear obviously was just getting stuck over there like some people have been. And in hindsight, obviously, I'm glad that didn't happen. But the Israeli government, like 3 days before we were about to leave, came down and said, hey, no tourists, it's done. And I mean, that put an end to it. And we were able to get refunds through just by the government, even though we didn't have there's no trip insurance or anything like that. But because this is like a uncontrollable event, we were able to get refunds and everything. But so anyway, I'm stuck with all this vacation time and I have to use it by like July. So hence I've been taking just tons of days off. But it's weird because then what do you go do? I'm taking days off. I mean, I'm doing yard work and I'm playing PlayStation, and it's nice. It's kind of like a little staycation, but it's just bizarre. And truthfully, I have plenty of work to be doing right now too. I feel almost kind of guilty, but at the end of the day, they're the days, and I just want to use them and get to stream and whatnot. But yeah, so sitting at home, I sympathize with that. It's just kind of a weird thing, and just kind of putzing around here. So.
Leading off for Seattle, the right fielder.
All right, Matthew Boyd, let's start putting this game away.
No ball, one strike.
Good hitter here. So all runs today have come off solo shots. 2-1 Detroit here, top of the fourth.
Now batting, third baseman, Kyle Seager.
Eric, not like huge. There's Riley Green, we've talked about a few times. Probably going to be our center fielders, possibly as soon as next year. Eric, that's just a hard question to answer briefly. I mean, there are some. No, I guess would be the short answer. I'm not seeing tons of changes. That's why there haven't been a lot of changes to the sliders. It's just some of the peripheral stuff like base running and stamina, stuff like that. But I mean, the statistical output has been really darn good. So just refinement, I guess, is the best way to put it. That ball's hit well too. He's just all over Matthew Boyd today. Luckily it goes foul though. So that tells me a slider might be a good pitch here. No, not when you hang it. Good job by Goodrum on the shift to get over there. Left that one up.
Now batting, the catcher, Tom Murphy.
Just got over top, you can see there. Hit over top of that, otherwise that might have been a home run.
Oh. 1-0.
Just about to say, let's turn a double play.
He's out.
Good job, Matthew Boyd. Gotta love the day player quirk in a day game. Yeah, 1.8's up in the vault. Yep. And Top Cat, you know that's not your last question. Come on. You're setting yourself up for failure here.
For the Tigers,
It's
the
okay.
designated hitter.
It's good to have people to chat with.
Throw.
Oh. Ball 2.
Ooh,
2-1.
not what I wanted to swing at there.
3-1.
Should we do a first movement steal with CJ Crone? Just kidding. Just missed that. Damn.
The batter, the left fielder, Cameron Mason.
Yeah, Eric, there's definitely been games with 0 home runs on both sides. At the same time, in my last 10 games, I've given up 16 home runs total, so it's a little bit of everything. No one game will be perfect. It's kind of looking at the sum of all parts, why I think it's important to track your own stats over, 10, 20, 30 games. I mean, use Excel, get a notebook. However you do it, it's definitely helpful. And that will show you the truth. Everything else is just you're going off of gut, which is just unreliable.
Oh.
The only thing totally out of whack is just steal success, and it's just the way the game's been done this year.
Ball, that's out.
But if early stealing works, I think that's a relatively easy fix. It's kind of fun. It gives you a little bit more control, but we'll have to test it out here. That'll be a hit.
The batter, the right fielder, Victor Reyes.
So let's see here. I don't want to just steal for the sake of testing sliders necessarily. So their catcher is actually Tom Murphy, right? He's a very accurate arm. He's not really a guy we want to be stealing on. So probably not gonna, unless I really get I know he's throwing a curveball in the dirt or something like that. I'll try it, but as far as where I want to hit, let's see. Ideally you'd like to pull here so he can get the third, but what's just far more important is just making good contact. Realistically, I want to hit one of these gaps. That center fielder's really not that deep. If I can hit one of these gaps, we're going to be in pretty good shape. Ooh, good pitch. Let's go for that right field gap on that swing. I thought that was the fastball.
The catcher, number 34, Jake Rogers.
Now he's in there.
I did not have steal on there, so that was just a throw over.
Ball. One ball, no strike. One and one.
Boy, they're really concerned with him, though. Oof.
Two and two. He's going, he's going.
So I definitely got a better jump. I tried it that time. Let's look at that replay. And I was even able to take a swing too, so it wasn't too hard to transition. Much better. I mean, it's still not great, but so yeah, I mean, that's gonna be how we have to start trying to steal. I mean, just period. It's your only hope. Ooh, that almost. Well, now here you can just do a regular steal. Not really trying to steal, just get him moving.
Ball four.
And I wouldn't really consider a double steal here. Even though, first off, I don't care about the adage of like, oh, never steal third with 2 outs. I don't see the reason to believe that you want to catch your opponent off guard. If they think that, great, I'll steal with 2 outs third. But here, what I'd be instructing my team to do is, you have a catcher on first. If they're going to do a double steal, go right ahead, but throw down to second, take the out. Just make sure he's actually going to second, right? So that's all kind of split second stuff, but that's essentially what you'd be doing here. Now they're not holding the runners on, so I can definitely take an extra step here, which is usually the case with 2 outs, a little bit bigger lead. But I'm not even really considering a steal here. Just looking to try and just driving a run here.
Oh. One and out. No, that's a ball.
Like, you don't want to steal in these counts. So you're most likely getting a fastball. And there it is. See, I don't know if I'm digging, they still get the out. I don't know if I'm digging the error so high for some of these. Maybe not, it's just, infield's just doing a lot of that. We'll see. Again, small sample size. They still made the out, so. It does create for a dirtier game, which is good. I get caught up in the chat here. Too many shutouts, Benjamin's saying, with 1.6 and 4-minute pitchers have an ERA under 3. Yeah, that's probably, that is one thing I'm looking at, but again, that's one of the things I went through yesterday and looked at my last 10 games, all that used 1.6, or at least something extremely similar. Nothing that would have impacted, the AI hitting. And the AI, and this is bad teams, good teams, this is a pretty good mix in my last 10 games, and they had a batting average ball in play of 303. And they had 16 home runs in 10 games, so that's plenty of offense. That's a very, very realistic clip of offense. So it may just be a stretch for you. And again, depending what team you are, Benjamin says he plays with the Dodgers, so yeah, they're good. 10 games just isn't a huge stretch. It's really not. And again, it's very easy to go, and you can track your batting average, ball in play,
Number 22.
even against all your pitchers. You just tally those numbers up. I mean, the only thing you're not going to really be able to tell is sacrifice flies, but like I had 1 against me in those 10 games when I looked at box scores. And what you could even do if you really want to get the accurate count is just, you could go to every one of your box scores, even if there's 50 of them, just scroll the sacrifice flies, just count those. It won't take you longer than 5 minutes. And you can put those in, but the rest of the stuff you can just get from your actual pitching stat screen. Although, well, at bats though, at bats could be tricky, but if they track plate appearances for pitchers or like batters faced, you just subtract like your walks hit by pitches. So you could still do it. And again, it would at least give you a pretty close estimate. But I just go through each box score and just tally them up. And what you could even do is, again, just after each game, just load it into an Excel spreadsheet or a Google sheet or something like that. So Matthew Boyd, one of the things, I don't know if they fixed Matthew Boyd's timing in a patch or something, because I know some other people have had trouble with him, but I've been much better. That's a bad pitch though. But being able to hit my spots with him. Yeah, I was just going to say, let's throw that changeup outside. There we go. That's really been one of his biggest turnaround reasons, and it makes sense. I've just been better at hitting the meter with him, whereas I was atrocious earlier in the season.
Lowe.
The other thing too with a team like the Dodgers, it's this game. I mean, it's honestly probably has a little bit too much like pitcher confidence. It's probably a little overpowered. It's something you could even dabble with if you wanted to turn it off, and Benjamin, and try that with the Dodgers and see what that does. Because if you get on a roll with a good pitcher, I mean, there's definitely some realistic elements to that, but maybe it's too easy to get on a roll with the Dodgers or something like that. But you could try using the confidence off. Ooh, almost got him. I'm going to throw that curveball. Matthew Boyd pitching well. Only 57 pitches so far. Almost through the 5th. Great stuff here. Especially with the timing of maybe moving him at the deadline. Or moving him here in the next, say, in a month from now. Just throwing lots of strikes today. But it's also a really bad Mariners team, so.
The batter, number 3, shortstop, J.P. Crawford.
Yeah, he's picked up his K rate. Again, I was really bad with him because the timing for me was really off. He's also got the pickoff artist. But yeah, the timing was really off with him, and he struggled. I mean, he was like 6 ERA for a while, now he's kind of low 4. I like having the steal success increase because it's not just for while you're batting, it's to really make this more fearful when you're pitching. Got him. Nope. Because it's, by the way, I want to put pickoffs back where I had it. It didn't impact anything like I thought it might. And so, but again, you really got to, 2 outs here. Like if they get a steal here, that puts them right in position to score. Probably need to be going out of this stretch here just in case, but
He's in. Runner. Yeah, on the tag.
There we go. I think that's perfect, right? The slide step. Not a great base stealer. That was a very close play. So let's look at it from the AI side of things now.
Now
The Taylor Williams coming in.
Number 73.
A lot of walks.
Taylor
Wow.
Williams.
So let's take a look at that play here. First, let's see what kind of jump they got. Pretty decent. So yeah, they're probably stealing the way that we are now. It's pretty decent here. Slide step. Jake Rogers isn't like an exceptional catcher or anything. I honestly think like these animations, like they start the slide too early. I mean, that is really early to start your slide from. Like if he had slid maybe that's again, maybe that's stealing ability, maybe that's, but I don't really think they have that many animations for this. But look, it's like that Old Spice commercial where the guy's just sliding around the bases. Just a little early. I mean, not crazy early, but like really, he should probably taken another step, maybe step and a half. Because I mean, look at, or at least, I mean, look at, he's flat. That is just too far. That's too far. I mean, look at that. Like that, right, at that moment, right, that's where you want to be touching the base. Like you're fully extended, you're down now. Like you're not sliding because it's faster. You're sliding for two reasons. To avoid a tag and because it stops you faster. If you were to run through this base, you wouldn't be able to stop yourself and you're easier to tag, right? You put yourself low, that means the guy who catches the ball, you know, usually in a position like this, has to sweep his arm down. If he was standing up, you would just have to twist your wrist, basically, or your elbow, and you tag. So the problem is, with weird animation like this, he's slowing himself down way too much. So again, I don't know. I don't know if that's impacting things or not, but in slow motion it does look ridiculous. I mean, it definitely looks like the Old Spice commercial. And if you haven't seen those Old Spice, you need to go to YouTube. You're already on YouTube probably, but you need to look those up. I think if you just looked up like YouTube softball slide or something like, or if you looked up, I'm sorry, Old Spice softball slide commercial, it's pretty amazing. So Taylor Williams here. Standard repertoire. We'll take a pitch unless it's right down the middle. So pretty slow slider. Probably means he throws, you know, low 90s, 91. Yeah, probably 91, 92 range on his fastball. Three sliders in a row. It's not his primary pitch either. Four sliders in a row. Hit a ton. Jordy Mercer almost got another one. Almost to center field in Comerica Park. Good grief.
The center fielder, number 28.
Talking about players who just play better than their ratings.
Good draw.
He was literally the last guy I put on the roster. What's the wind doing? It's slightly blowing out. Jeez. It's a rope.
Now batting, the first baseman, Miguel.
Trying to keep up with the chat here. Hey, what's up, Ryan? His numbers aren't bad for me, Eric. We should actually look to see where he's ranking for like shortstop all-stars. Like, he didn't play a lot at the beginning of the year, so that impacted him, but careful throwing Miguel Cabrera those sliders. I've been able to hit a lot of pitches like that right out here.
That's a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. Three balls, 1
His
strike.
fastball's faster than I thought it would be.
Inside. Hey, you man.
So Miguel's on again today.
The batter, number 8, second baseman, Jonathan. Go!
Yeah, Victor, I was thinking like you on that, but didn't get a pitch to do it with.
Ball. 1 ball, no strike. Inside ball.
So he's a breaking ball hitter, but again, in these 2-0 situations, like you still have to look fastball down the middle. Now, if he hangs a breaking pitch over the middle, I'll try and adjust to that. Just missed it. Again, I think his 2 quirks working against him there. Breaking ball hitter, which apparently, I don't know if this is true, but I think Waffle had mentioned that like if you're a breaking ball hitter, it means that you actually will get like a negative impact, I guess, if you swing at fastballs, which to me is silly. Oh. That's gonna score some runs. Come on, Miguel. He's so slow. Come on. Go on, Miguel. Wow, he made it. He's gonna have to sit for like 3 days now.
The left fielder, number 4.
CJ Cron, 2 hits yesterday. Hit today, finally. You look for those gaps. Don't worry about home runs. Don't worry about pulling everything. I should talk. We've been like the worst team in baseball for runners in scoring position. That's a good pitch to hit, obviously. Ooh.
0-1.
Thought that he doesn't even throw a cutter, but it kind of looked like that was gonna be a cutter.
Oh, 1-1.
Tigers looking to sweep the Mariners here.
Ball, inside. Go, offering.
Ooh, just missed that. Didn't want to swing at a slider. It's looking obviously just fastball in the middle, but I saw that kind of hang in there. So Ryan's seen a lot of errors, throwing errors. I mean, he didn't really any throwing errors, so I guess, again, splitting the difference, maybe that's a good spot to be. I've just seen a lot of, like, bobbled balls, and a lot of times they're not even called errors because they're on, like, tougher plays. And so my worry with that is, because they're not being scored errors and hits, that you may start to see batting average ball and play creep up too much. And this is the right call. I mean, a challenging ball that you don't make a play on is not an error. But those were resulting in more outs. So we'll just have to wait and see. And again, some of them still, they bobble it like we saw today, they bobble it, but they still make the play. And again, that's obviously not an error. So, it's just not a big enough sample size for me to comment much further on that. Ooh, wow, that's a nice call. This guy's got one of the highest on-base percentages in the American League. Ooh, I'll take it. I was going to say, I didn't want to just give him something to hit on 0-2, but he chased. Just his third strikeout today.
The center fielder, Malik Smith.
A lot of strikes today. It's just pretty sharp. The one solo home run, which gave the Mariners a 1-0 lead. But he's getting tired. I'm kind of surprised he's so tired at just 68 innings. But his stamina, 81. So again, I don't know. I just don't get this game in their stamina handling. Its scale is really weird.
Nope, that's away.
The only thing I can figure is maybe I'm using too much effectiveness on my pitches. That's the only thing I can figure, but I mean, pitchers don't typically, I mean, they're using about as damn effective as they can be on every pitch. It's not like they go up there and like, alright, these first 3 innings, just going to take it easy and just try to get over the plate. Like, you're going to get slaughtered. Back-to-back strikeouts now. This is definitely a guy we can strike out. There's a 75th pitch. You can see that's only what, 2 innings went over 15. Six innings. Yeah, base stealing, Ryan, it looks like it has more to do with, and again, maybe that slider needs to adjust if we start getting too good. But it looks like you're going to have to kind of use that manual stealing, which I haven't done in years past. But I think it's easy. It's not a difficult switch or anything. Oh, well, if this game starts to get a little more out of hand, I might switch to Alex Wilson here. Might just go to Alex Wilson anyway next inning.
The catcher, number 34, Jake Rogers.
No way.
Ball, that's in. Oh. That's 4. Take your base.
2 walks for Jake Rogers.
The batter, the third baseman, Jamer Candelario.
1-0. That's the ball.
Thought that was going to be the splitter there. Probably see it here though. Could almost tag up in this play, but doesn't have the run speed for it. Good throw too.
Now batting, shortstop, Jordy Mercer.
Mercer, 400 on base, 529 slugging. Ridiculous. And he's putting up like Trevor Story numbers when he came onto the scene. Obviously, Mercer's an older player, but think how exciting it would be if he was you know, just a 22, 23-year-old that we brought up or something. It'd be wild. Ah, so slow. Defensive swing. I wasn't looking anywhere up there. Yeah, Ryan, no, yeah, for sure. Score of the game, all that stuff. Who's coming up in the lineup, how many times through. The lineup has the pitcher gone. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Boyd's pitching well. I also think about this game and just their stamina recovery. But we do have an off day before he pitches again, so he'll get kind of an extended if I stick with a strict rotation, which I like to do. So he'll probably be okay. But this part of the lineup just lends itself better to a righty, even with Seager. So I think it makes sense to go. And you know, again, I could put in Buck Farmer here, but I don't mind going with Alex Wilson, a 3-run
Your
lead.
attention, please. Now pitching for the Tigers, number 31, Alex
Primary pitch to the slider here.
Wilson.
One ball, one strike.
Now, if he gets into some kind of trouble,
One and two.
Now batting, third baseman, Kyle Seager.
Oh.
we're going to go slider here. I don't want a defensive swing to go up the third base line here, so probably going to only throw him sliders at this point.
That's three.
2 quick strikeouts on just 9 pitches for Alex Wilson.
The catcher, number 2, Tom Murphy.
Oh. One ball, no strike. That's ball 2.
Bit of a late swing there. Another late swing. But he's probably readjusted now, so slider time for the strikeout. Nope, missed it.
Nope, take it back.
The batter, number 22,
Sometimes I don't mind bringing in my setup guy in this situation, because if he gets out of this, he can start the next inning, but then I can take him out whenever I want. So it kind of creates that freedom.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Tigers, number 45, Buck Farmer.
No ball. One strike.
Didn't mean to click through Buck Farmer's stats quickly there, I apologize. But he's pitched really well for us. He's been promoted to one of our setup guys. And 3-pitch strikeout. We strike out the side there, 1 walk.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join for the traditional 7th inning stretch.
So, we're bringing in Austin Adams. We faced pretty much the same pitchers this whole series. It's, again, something that kind of just plagues MLB The Show. It's just bullpen AI. We can probably now bump these up here. As far as our 8th inning,
Tigers, the center fielder, Nico.
so see, now the beauty is, right, I can have Buck Farmer pitch to these 2 righties, but take him out after the 2 batters for Win Crawford if we want to use Cedeno. So if the game starts to get, we start blowing it out or something, probably bring in Daniel Bard. Again, a leadoff situation here. I'm just looking to put something over there.
No, that's high.
2 hits for Nico Goodwin today. It's nice to see.
Ball, that's low.
Hit that pretty well. Oh.
Now batting, the first baseman, Miguel Cabrera.
Might be our first sweep of the season. We might have had one early, maybe against Cleveland or something, I forget, but still got to close it out though. Bad Mariners team, but we will take 3 wins anytime we can get them.
Oh. 1-0.
Home run and a walk today. Couldn't get up there.
The batter, number 8, second baseman, Jonathan. Go!
Gone. Nope. Just missed it.
Leading off for Seattle, the left fielder.
So let's see, what kind of power are we looking at here? Nothing crazy, but if I bring in Bard and we get into a sticky situation, I won't be able to take him out, so we are going to stick with... Actually, sit Bard down. We'll go with Cedeno once we get the 2 outs, if we get the 2 outs.
Now batting, Designated hitter, Dylan Moore.
That's hit pretty well. Stays in though.
The batter, number 3, shortstop.
So the question is though, if he gets on base, is that going to create problems?
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
But should be okay.
For the Tigers,
Love that 140 against
number
lefties.
65, Xavier Cedeno.
One. 0-1. Nope, that's off the plate.
Hey, attendance went down. That's good. We're on 32,000 here every game. Go curveball again.
2-2.
Solid pitching today from the Tigers. Some of that's just the Mariners being really bad this year. But we don't care. We'll take it.
Leading up for the Tigers, the designated hitter, CJ.
The Knights would be Vizcaino for yet another save. Otherwise, maybe Daniel Bard. Yeah, hell, even Nick Ramirez maybe.
Nope, outside.
Ah, not a good swing.
One ball, 2 strikes. Three balls, 2 strikes. Three balls, 2 strikes.
If he gets on base, we'll pinch run, give him a little rest. Get a little more speed out there. Ooh, good pitch.
Now batting, left fielder, Cameron Maybin.
Oh. One ball, 1 strike. Nope, off it.
Oof. Not good.
2-2.
Now batting, the right fielder, Victor Reyes. No ball, 1 strike. Oh, 1-1.
He's going, running. Hey! He's safe.
Hey, look at that. Huge leg kick. So I figured try a shot here. And again, is the slider too high? It might be. I'm going to leave it up for me for a little bit to kind of get my ratio back into a respectable spot.
Time. Get back there. Take your base.
The catcher, number 34, Jake
Sorry, Jake.
Rogers. Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for the Tigers, number 30, Harold Castro.
Day player. It's a good matchup.
That's the ball. 1 ball, no strike. Oh. Ball 3. 3-0.
Oh. Well, so much for our stolen base percentage. That's a bummer.
Your attention, please. This change defensively.
I was trying to steal there on that throw, so I'm wondering.
Number 30, Harold Castro.
I mean, they still made an attempt to get back because I didn't let go of it, so I guess that's good to know. And I did have a wider lead, so.
Malik Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. This change defensively for the Tigers. Now catching, number 7, Austin Roma.
18 for 18.
Now pitching for the Tigers.
We saw at the beginning of the stream the leading all-star vote getter for all closers in baseball right now. So to say he's a trade bait goes without saying. It's too bad that this game probably too heavily looks at ratings above all else, but he's still got a decent rating. I think he's a 79. So we'll definitely get something. And I don't know, maybe they take age into that rating, because I mean, you shouldn't be getting blue chip prospects for even the best closer who's, what, 30 or something like that, or 32. But I mean, should be able to get something. Go ahead and hit it.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Hey, Pretzel Lady's back. Vizcaino.
You're out.
Former Mariner himself. He's just been
The batter number
one of the reasons why we even have a glimmer of hope
D. Gordon.
is if we get a lead in the ninth. I mean, he has shut the door every time.
Oh. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And it's a tough call because, again, if we're anywhere sniffing at all, the playoffs come around the trade deadline, I probably wouldn't trade this guy. Especially when we're just going to probably get, like, at best, like a B prospect
Now
back or
batting,
something.
Right fielder, Mitch Haniger.
I mean, I want this guy. Can you imagine not having him in the playoffs trying to close out games?
Oh, and 1. He stays.
I don't really care if he does steal. I'm more concerned with Haniger here, trying to keep him off base.
One and 2.
Two outs, 2 strikeouts. Dude's so good. It's crazy. I love finding guys like this who just...
Now batting, third baseman, Kyle Seager.
No, Top Cat, I was talking about the Steal Success slider. That's the one that's been bumped up. I'm good with Car Wash.
No ball.
Does he actually have a nickname at all? I don't even know. Oh, there it is. But again, see, that's not going to be ruled an error. That was not a routine play.
The catcher,
That's a hit.
Tom
So the bummer is we have 2 bad things happening on a play like that. We still don't get an error registered that we're looking to increase, but we get a hit registered, and so it's increasing the batting average ball in play, and it's having Vizcaino throw even more pitches, things like this. So it's pretty tired, but I'm gonna go for a little bit longer. I am gonna get someone up though, just in case, because I'm not losing this game. Actually, do you have any power coming up? A little bit. I'm afraid to put Bard in there. 70 clutch. Yeah, it's got to be Joe Jimenez over Bard. So, a home run would tie it. Gotta be very careful here now, but he's got terrible contact, so...
Oh. 1-0.
That's a good pitch.
Coffee. 2-1.
Ooh, got away with one there. Beautiful. I don't mind throwing him sliders all day with a contact rating in the 30s. Movement is your friend against low contact. Tiger sweep though, take it. I don't doubt this Vizcaino. But if he got into the red, I was going to take him out. I think he's pitched 3 games in a row, so
Here now
getting
is
pretty
our
tired.
final line score this afternoon. First for the victorious Tigers.
Well, let's see if those little squibbly hits impacted things.
For the Mariners, 1 run, 7 hits.
So batting average, ball and play calculator, courtesy of fueledbysports.com.
Time of the ball game.
That's the one I'm using.
And 54 minutes.
So let's see, 31 at bats for them.
Thank you for
7
joining us
hits.
here this afternoon.
They
And we
hit
remind
1
you,
home run.
please drive home safely.
No sac flies. They had 11 strikeouts today. So they were 316. They played terrible, right? So again, that's kind of my fear with some of those infield things is you're seeing a few too many hits. And in this game, it wasn't a big deal, but like imagine playing a really, really potent offense and you're giving them those extra hits. I mean, it could get ugly really quickly. So I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't have a conclusion on that yet, but that is my concern with that. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. They're pitching again. They had to start a emergency starter today, so I mean it was kind of doomsday for them to begin with. And our offense was able to do just enough. Nothing crazy. But you can see we really hit well all throughout the lineup until the very bottom. And again, like if these Tigers do start to make some noise and we somehow become buyers, that's what I'm looking for, is someone to kind of wrap up the, and I wouldn't say like someone to add to put in the bottom of the lineup, but someone where we could move one of those guys at the top down, even Jordy Mercer. We just need more depth hitting. We can't have every third inning just be like a 1-2-3 inning, and sometimes at the bottom of this order, that's what we're seeing. So that's something we'd potentially look at. But a couple home runs. Jordy Mercer still out home running Miguel Cabrera, just nuts. We did get a steal. We also got picked off, which is super annoying as I try to fix that ratio. But Boyd pitched well enough for sure. Gets his 3rd win of the year to improve to 3-4. His ERA now 3.93. And as usual, the bullpen, like whoever our bullpen coach is, I wish we actually had a legit bullpen coach, because I'd be like, man, this guy needs to be promoted. He's just been outstanding. So I guess all I can do is take the credit for that myself. So I deserve a promotion. I will email my boss and let him know. I'll reference this game. Say, listen, I turned the Tigers bullpen right around. So Tigers batting average, ball and play, we had 31 at bats, we had 9 hits, we had 2 home runs, and we did not have any sac flies. We struck out 6 times. Ours will be probably lower, 304 for the Tigers there. So again, there's absolutely no conclusions to be drawn from that. It's just far too little of a sample size, but a lot of strikes today from the Tigers, a lot from Boyd, 77, a ton. That's by design. That's also execution this time, which finally comes through because I usually miss a lot on those first pitches. Theirs is hard to look at. I mean, theirs was standard, but again, it's hard to really gauge because they started an emergency starter who pitched 3 innings, and there's not a whole lot to really draw from that. But those numbers have been good all year. They fouled off 20% of their pitches. It's a lot. We were a little bit low at 8. Again, it just happens some games. Doesn't mean anything's wrong. Pitches that were swung at, the Mariners, 34% swung and missed. They missed a lot. They're a bad team. They struck out 11 times. It's no surprise. We were 34 as well. Again, just high. A lot of swings and misses in this game, but some of that comes down to me and just using a lot of bad players. So the Tigers get the win. We'll check the draft now. Like I said, I think we're getting pretty close. I did try to claim a player on waivers. I can show you guys. It's nothing very exciting. It's just to kind of give us a little bit more depth. Oops. Actually, do we need to adjust any of these? We were playing around with some sliders today, so pickoffs is back. So, like, if I had to make a change right now to errors, I think outfield seems pretty good. And I don't see the throwing errors. Ryan's mentioned those. And I think we've had fielding errors at 6 for a while. Wasn't that the one that was up to begin with? So, yeah, I don't think I'd mess with any of them. They had 316 batting average ball in play from a bad team. And maybe having the errors up again is going to help some players who are struggling. Like, oh, the AI is not hitting enough. Like, well, they're going to probably get a few more hits now. So I don't really think there's much to look at. Again, let me save this here. The base stealing, I mean, it's just been atrocious. But I'm glad we found a solution on today's stream. Like, I'm 100% convinced, like, that's a solution. And so now it's just a matter of just kind of getting used to the mechanics of it, and then 2, deciding, is that slider too high? It probably could be, because what do we have it at, 7? Or is it at 6? I mean, 7 I can almost assure is going to be too high. What I also like about that, though, yeah, it's at 7, is that it really makes the AI dangerous if they ever decide to use it. And maybe that will. Maybe that spurs them. Maybe they take that into consideration. We'd have to see. So, what was I going to look at? Oh, yeah, stolen base stuff. By the way, home runs, still last. Only by 1, though. Look at that. We're almost caught back up. So I could easily be in, like, the top 25 here rather soon. So, that's good to see. So stolen bases, we are the least, and part of that's just by design. I don't run a lot to begin with, and 2, we are a very, very slow team. Caught stealing, we have way more than we should, 15th. So again, kind of an average number there. But stolen base percentage, I mean, what the hell? Like, just awful, right? I'd at least like to get caught up to Pittsburgh, and I think we will. I don't think it's going to be that difficult with only, we only have 13. So I mean, if we get 4 in a row, that's an easy thing to fix, I guess is what I'm saying. So I'm going to leave it a little bit inflated to try and get that back a little bit. Because even if I'm just up here, I'm good at that. Like, I don't really care. I just don't want it to be bottomed out like that. Base on balls have probably been trending down a little bit for me, just because I've been swinging more. Yeah, we're 25th right now. So strikeouts while batting, 6th. But yeah, so let's advance to the next day, and we can kind of look around at a few different things. Whoops, don't send the season. Okay, so Hunter Harvey was one of the players that was on waivers. Seattle picked him up probably because they have all their pitching's probably dead tired. And I can show you the guy that we're looking at, and is it Tyro Estrada? There's nothing really special. Here's 23, which is nice. See potential, but I did put in a claim for him just to give us some more depth. Right now we have 2 shortstops at the major league level. We have 2 at AAA, 2 at AA. One of those guys get hurt. We don't have a ton of depth, so I literally grabbed him just to kind of just stash him into the minors. Just a right-handed hitter, nothing crazy here, but he is a guy technically, like he could play in the majors right now, and just be kind of a bench guy. His defense I'm not crazy about, but it's improving. No quirks or anything. He's not. He actually did play in the majors last year, so again, just a nice guy to kind of fill out the minors a little bit. He does have a salary attached to him, but again, I don't mind just kind of building out the minors a little bit there. Just give us a little bit more depth. So we'll see. We'll see if that one goes through. Let's see, that's all that's happening there. So the Giants called up a guy. Have you guys seen, is the AI at all, I want to say like last year, maybe they do it this year too, they would call up players if, like at the end of the month, you get those emails like, hey, here's who's hot, here's who's cold in the minors. Do they make any transactions off of those or at that time, or is it still only injuries? So like if you had injuries off, for instance, you would never have a guy called up from AAA. I mean, that's a good way to test it, I guess, is just do a quick test sim and see. But I'm curious if anyone's seen that or has tested that or knows about that. And again, it seems to be a little bit different each year, slightly different. So Rockies call up a catcher. The Mets call up a center fielder. So again, that means we're going to have some injuries. Marlins probably have a guy back. Minor league injuries. right. Scouting. Let's see what's going on here. We are, again, just scouting actual players at this point. Marco Chavez, I wanted to go back and kind of finish his scouting. It's looking like it's pretty much done. Good pitcher, but the hits per nine. He's the guy who throws really slow, right? So we'll probably switch him out. These are going to be really just too early to report. So we'll keep going. 75 potential. Sorry for Buster Driscoll. We'll keep scouting him to see if he turns out to be a better fit. Pierre Couch, same thing. 75 potential. Let's see if there's a little bit more we can draw from him. Michael Jacks was that shortstop. Kind of a utility player. Pretty good defender. Not a great arm, though. So again, he's a guy that we'll just see if he starts to pan out, but the early reports are that we can probably quit scouting him a little early. I will stop with the Marco Chavez, and we will do a look for another starting pitcher here. By the way, there are some really good closers. I mean, some of these guys look really outstanding. And again, would I pick one in the second round? Yeah, maybe, potentially, especially if there's one who can like come in and pitch right away. This guy, not quite. This guy could pitch right away. He could pitch next year, no problem, if his scouting. And actually, yeah, he's fully scouted. So I mean, this is, Andres Velez would, if he's there in the second round. Yeah, I would absolutely take a look at him. He could be on the team next year. So again, there are some decent relief pitchers. Garinger, same thing. Probably couldn't play next year, but he's a lefty. Versus these other guys are all righties. Yeah, these are all righties. Yeah, I mean, DeAndre Doherty looks really good too. So, just some things we can definitely take a look at. And again, haven't even scouted these guys because they're relief pitchers. Easiest things in baseball to find. Doesn't always mean they're going to be elite, but you don't always need just elite guys. So like Simon Flood. So I don't know. I mean, I just didn't want to spend. I've hardly had time to scout the guys I want to pick for number one overall. It's been tough. So, but anyway, let's add another starting pitcher here to replace Chavez. So Jason Miller, he's only got 3 pitches. I'm not crazy about him. Yaimi Cora. Again, not too crazy about him. Definitely not too crazy about him. Only 3 pitches. Just not a huge fan of that. Kevin Acevedo doesn't look too bad. Again, he'd be a nice guy to grab in the second round or something like that. Gonzalez looks pretty good. I would say Gonzalez or Acevedo. Low injury rating. This guy's got pretty darn good numbers across the board. I'd probably say Gonzalez. Yeah, let's give him a look. So yeah, that's what's going on. Hey, the Tigers, we're not in last in the division anymore. We moved up 4.5. We're in 4th place now. Wild card 6.5 back, 4.5 back in the division. We head out west to face a Diamondbacks team that's pretty good. 34-22. They have scored about 60 more runs than their opponents. 5-5 in their last 10. They're 18-10 at home. Looks to be a pretty good team. If we just kind of give their lineup a little look. And I'll be streaming this tomorrow. I am off work again tomorrow. So 255 average, 262. Some good ratings. Kettle Marte looks to be having a nice year. 11 home runs. Yeah, he looks to be a very nice player for them.
Gosh, they have guys who have more home runs in like the middle of my lineup at this point. Yeah, they look to be pretty darn deep. They're putting up like Colorado numbers. Everyone in this lineup hits. Damn. Yeah, they're gonna be be a tough series. All right, I'm gonna check the chat here. Give this another quick save while I do that. Patrick, you've still only seen what through injury? I'm not sure what that refers to. It was about almost 10 minutes ago now. Yeah, Top Cat, glad you're here. It's good to chat with everyone. But I don't know what Patrick was talking about. I'm still only seeing it through injuries. I don't know what it is. Oh, right. Thank you. Yeah, that was the question I was asking. Okay. Yeah, that's a bummer. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap the stream up. Thanks, everybody. Episode 21 is a wrap. And again, the Tigers swept out the Mariners, so good to see. Have a good rest of your Thursday.